Hi, welcome to For Flow with Chloe and happy new moon in Taurus. So I'm going to pull a few from the Wild Reflections. Then I think we'll have some Lunar Tarot and some Goddess of Love because Taurus is ruled by Venus, and so Venus is important during this new moon, as Venus kind of rules the energy of the moon, therefore, at the moment. And the goddess of love. Is Venus not the goddess of love? And obviously Lunar Tarot, because we're starting a new moon cycle. It's those two. So we have 8 of Swords in reverse. So when it's in the upright, it is a failure to sort of see where we have shackled ourselves. As you can see, the woman in the reflection here, she's blindfolded and tied up, but in reality, the woman here is quite free. She's got all her arrows on her back as well, so she has, the tools to communicate and to hunt swiftly, but she is mentally tied up. When it's in reverse, this is more like holding on to past stories about your victimhood, and you are no longer in a position currently of this entrapment, but you are not letting go of a past paradigm or a past story of limitation and restriction. However, after that, we get the 10 of Pentacles. So we have this beautiful, beautiful growth and abundance. And so I feel there's something about you can have it if you believe in it. If you believe in yourself and, see your stories for what they are, a thing of the past that, you've overcome, and believe that you can have this abundance and this growth. A new moon is a great time to be setting our intentions about future growth and, expansion and abundance. But if we are holding on to this belief where that never happens for me, we can never have it, we're gonna poison our manifestations. So we need to have a healthy dose of reality check about where we currently are and where we are just holding ourselves back mentally, and how much the power of disbelief in ourselves is actually the only restriction that is left there. Where we've been in the past does not have to continue to soil our future. We want to use the soil for growth, not to murk our intentions. I've got a few flip over. Rather nice ones. Lovely. We then have 6 of Cups. And she has this beautiful golden shell necklace. And we can see 2 people coming together in emotional harmony. There's real connection, and often when we get the 6, it's quite a nostalgic sweetheart vibe. and a very, very familiar connection to someone from our past, usually. So there may be a reconnection with someone or something emotional from your past that is making you feel harmonious and a bit whimsical in a romantic, like romantic whimsy. And we have the 9 of Wands. So a strong boundary there. You can see all of the wands lined up like a fence. And so it is quite a defensive card in that it's like, I've come this far, I'm not backing down now, but I need to hold that line to keep myself focused and moving in the right direction, and just, you know, that last push of determination and energy to make it where you want to go. So there is an element of potential fatigue with that card, like it's been a bit of a battle to get where you are potentially, but you're almost there. Then we have the Empress. Extremely fulfilling, a wholeness, you know, what is more Taurian new moon than like a pregnant woman of like this new beginning, this ripening, and this growth. Is like the moon shall become whole, the womb shall become big and round like the pregnant belly, and it will be a fulfillment. And the Empress does represent the sign of Taurus. She's abundant, she's luxurious, and really just so much beauty and strength of this feminine energy, very grounded, stability, lots of growth, and this absolute sort of opulent growth and fertility. And we have the 7 of Pentacles, a little assessment point. He's been working hard to make the growth happen with these sunflowers, with his barrow, pushing his barrow back and forth with the compost to keep feeding his magical sunflowers. And he's like assessing how far he has come. And I'd say that this 9 of Wands is quite an assessing how far we've come. And I'd say that this card, be it in upright or in reverse, is needing to see how far we've come from a past state of being where maybe we did have some lack, or maybe again it was just perceived lack, but we don't need to be there now. We want to grow and we want to keep going, and our goal is the 10 of Pentacles, this abundant completion. We want this completion and this harmony, this emotional harmony, fulfillment. And, you know, we might need to just hold on to that determination and not give up, and not go back into this kind of victim mentality of like, oh, things never work out for me. We want to be believing in ourselves, in the fullness of our potential, and in the ripeness of our abundance, in a grounded, centered, harmonious way of the Empress, being sure-footed and confident, but in a very harmonious, peaceful, trusting, loving way. And then seeing this assessment point in a more positive light, of a more grounded, more practical, where have I been, where am I going, where am I at now, and having this sort of practical reality check of like, what do I now, what do I need to keep doing to keep building, and assessing the growth accurately of like, I've got this many, how many more do I need? It took me this much to get this many, how many more do I need from 7 to get to the 10? And take a few more. And then we'll switch to the Lunar Tarot. One's just flipped over. We have the Knight of Wands, some fiery communication incoming, some inspiration, a little bit of flair, a little bit of passion. And we also have the Three of Wands. So taking action towards our instincts and our passion, like our instinctive passion, our drive, like a big burst of drive coming in. And with the Three of Wands, it's expectant. It's like you've manifested in the energy and you're expecting it now to happen. So it's really having used and manifested this creative kind of drive and inspiration to get to this healthy point of confidence and assertion and knowing and having the confidence to be in that energy and trust in yourself and be sure of yourself. Which is a nice long way away from this card here of self-doubt. So we've come a long way. Mr. Wheelbarrow Man has come a long way. We have also got the Hierophant, a very Taurian card. So yeah, spiritual assessment, spiritual enlightenment of a kind, spiritual ascension, and this very stable, calm trust in your spirituality. The Hierophant is a spiritual leader, very stable in their wisdom and their trust in themselves and their link to the divine. They are quite unquestionable and unshakable in their spiritual faith and the faith in their path. And there's a lot of like healing energy as well there with the Hierophant, I feel. And then we get the Knight of Wands. So more fire energy and enthusiasm and confidence. The King of Wands is very confident, kind of king of flair and self-assuredness, and very assertive, very passionate. So some sort of empowerment, some self-empowerment and trust in your sort of sovereignty And then we have the High Priestess. What a lovely High Priestess. She's holding a new moon, and she is heavily linked to the moon. She represents the lunar cycle. She often has this sort of headband on with the lunar cycle on it. And she has these two sort of stairways of ascension. She acts with intuition, divine intuition, and she can see and choose the right path based on her divine intuition. So there is something as well about knowing and trusting in your intuition to guide you on the right path. And that your intuition will guide you on the right path. And having the confidence to stand in your power and choose that path. And having the stability and faith in yourself and your judgment. I'm going to switch to the Lunar Tarot. If I can get my cards out. One stuck in the bottom. There we go. Sort them out a bit. There we go. We get the Death card, however, symbolic of transformation. We also have a new moon symbol on this card. We also, under this Taurian new moon, have a Pluto retrograde, which is all about deep internal transformation and this sort of internal rebirth. Two more. We have the Knight of Swords and the Magician. Manifestation and motivation. We have just had Uranus move into Gemini, and the Magician is very linked to Mercury and also Gemini. And so there is some swift communication and motivation coming in. This Uranus having moved out of Taurus now, where it wasn't particularly happy and was shaking a lot of things up structurally and making us all feel rather unsettled and unstable. In Gemini quite likes change. It's quite swift and innovative, and it likes the change, and it goes with it. It rides with it like the wind. It wants to advance. It wants to communicate. It has that motivation and the manifestation as well. The Magician is this very as above, so below kind of energy. And here he's literally juggling the moon as balls and sort of juggling the lunar cycle. And it's almost like knowing the right time to manifest and trusting his energy and trusting the divine timing to have this transformation, knowing when the time is right. And Gemini can have this very sort of dualistic reality and almost double dimensional thing going on. And so it can be in one time zone mentally as well as existing in another in reality. And sort of being able to work with both energies, it's always kind of in sync with both, and can always see both sides. And so trusting the magic and trusting the divine timing and knowing when it is right to take action with that Knight of Swords, and drive it home. We've got a lot of fire cards as well about having the confidence, and we've got a lot of cards of spirituality and intuition with the Hierophant and the High Priestess, divine pair, and the Empress, this like goddess like energy, this female divine, beyond a queen. She's like all of the queens in one. She's the embodiment of divine feminine energy and growth. And this belief in your passion, this belief in your manifestation ability. And I'm going to take a couple from, or however many it wants to give me, from the Goddess of Love, Tarot. Love, love, love. We do also have Venus in Gemini at the moment as well. So there is a very Gemini energy afoot. Very soon on the 19th, the sun will also move into Gemini. It's going to be my season because I'm a Gemini, sun in Gemini. And we get rest. Be still and listen. Listen to your intuition to know when the time is right for manifestation, and to have the motivation to act on it when the opportunity is right, and you will intuitively know. So I'm getting that from these three cards again. That we got from the Lunar Tarot, and knowing that this new cycle, this fresh cycle, is a potent time for transformation and rebirth. Let go of the ties that bind. And how did we start the reading? A need to release the ties that bind, and a need to release any kind of victim mentality, and trust. Have the confidence to trust your instincts and your intuitions, and the courage and confidence to act on it. And that is the reading, guys. Lovely reading, if I say so myself. I thought it was a rather nice one. And yeah, I have also released that Taurus new moon class, which is proving quite popular. So if you haven't already checked that out, go and check that out. There is the opportunity to come into some very throat and heart opening poses that are very deeply transformative, which kind of goes along quite well with that reading, I think. Lots of moon salutation as well in there to bring in the new moon energy. And that's all for now. Thank you for watching for Flow with Chloe. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and all that jazz. Bye.